Guys, for this month, we have dropped Murdered Midwest subscription to only $5.
That's over 30 bonus content episodes that include famous serial killers.
Like John Wayne Gacy and BTK.
And famous cases like O.J. Simpson, John Benet Ramsey, and Gypsy Rose.
And once you sign up, you'll get access to all of those episodes.
As well as like a new episode every Friday.
And the fastest way to sign up is by going through the link on our Instagram bio.
Click the subscribe to Murder Midwest and watch those locks disappear.
We really appreciate your subscription and your support. Thanks, guys. Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118. This is Kayla Keith, and you're listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about a news anchor that has been missing for almost 30 years. No one has been arrested, but a lack of suspects is not the problem. This is Missing Midwest, and someone knows something. Hello?
Hey. Man, is that like almost 30 years?
Literally, we're almost,
Gee whiz.
almost 30 years. Yeah, but it's still like
a news anchor.
Very, very active case. Yes, she was a news anchor.
Man, that's like celebrity status.
Yeah, she was like a local celebrity for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
The reason I did it is because they just upped her reward to $100,000.
Wow.
And she went missing on June 27th. So we're coming up on the 29th. It was 1995, so it's the 29th anniversary of her disappearance. And so it's still super active, and like I said, it's up to $100,000. They just released it's up to $100,000 now. So
the only thing that I know about this case is that I made the the Instagram picture that we're gonna post, the graphic, and she's pretty. That's all I know.
She's very pretty. Yes, she was only 27.
Really?
Very pretty news anchor.
Okay.
So before we start, any announcements?
All I can say is that Murder Midwest, $5. Subscriptions are still $5. We're going to keep it there for a while here. Give it a shot. We've got 35 episodes now. A lot of high-profile cases on there. Last week's episode was somebody who was involved with the Indy 500. This week's episode, wild story. Wild story. You know, Kayla always likes to bring the husband did it into it. So I came back at a wife did it situation, and it was a doozy.
I still say the husband did
it. It's over 100 years old, and I usually try to keep things as current as possible. But when I started looking for a bad wife situation, I found this one. I was like 100%.
She takes the cake on bad wife.
Unbelievable.
Probably the worst wife you could ever imagine.
Oh man! All right, so you got to check it out. It's honestly probably worth $5 just to listen to that episode because it was
$5 is
bonkers.
That's less than coffee now.
That's true. Donate one coffee a month to us, please. Yeah, helps us grow. Helps us keep Cody around.
Yep.
Also gets you access to
Raylan a college fund.
There you go.
Speaking of Raylan, she's here.
You haven't heard already.
She's been with us every time
we record. She hasn't made a peep for 2 hours, and now that we start recording, she's
literally been sleeping for 2 hours. I put the boys to bed. I'm like, okay, we're gonna record. Wide awake.
I think she's just a fan of the show. I think that's what it is.
And she's getting a little bit more vocal now. We just hit 2 months old, and so she's starting to coo, and so she might have some commentary. And if she does, get over it. But yeah. She's so cute. She's so cute. What else? Oh, Emily Trost messaged me today, and she was like, "But why did I read the letter from Albert Fish?" I told you not to.
I did not.
That's one of the
Murdered Midwest
that you can subscribe, and if you listen to that episode, I tell you very specifically in there, don't read the letter.
Oh man, I wanted to say something.
And curiosity got her, and she read it, and she was mad at us, and I was like, listen,
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah, I did not read it. Kayla was like, "Did you read that letter?" I was like, "I did not. I will not."
How can you do that?
Because I don't want to have the visuals that he put out there. He's such a monster.
Yeah,
I don't want
like
those
when
visuals.
someone tells you not to do something, like I have to do it.
See, I just think for myself, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make a conscious decision not to do that.
No, I want to do it. I'm the worst at when someone tells me no, I must do it. We had a dog show up at our house this week, and I was like, I do not want this dog.
It became a thing on social media for sure. I did not want this dog.
I didn't want the dog either.
If anybody couldn't tell by my posts on social media, I did not want the dog.
It was kind of cute, and it was nice and sweet, and the boys liked it. But I didn't want a new dog. But then when our parents started telling us that we shouldn't have the dog, I was like,
I agreed with them fully.
I was
completely
like,
on board with
you don't
parents.
get to tell me what to do. I'm keeping the dog.
Ugh.
And then, long story short, somebody kind of stole the dog, and then I was more mad. I'm like, I didn't want the dog because someone took the dog away from me. So same thing. If you tell me not to read the letter, I'm reading the letter.
Yeah, I just didn't want to.
But this is me telling you all: if you subscribe to Murdered Midwest and you listen to the Albert Fish episode, don't read the letter. It's
one
brutal.
of the worst monsters we've come across for sure.
But you should definitely still subscribe. So
yeah, there's plenty of other less depressing cases.
What we've covered.
I wanted to say something real quick to the power of social media posts. We saw somebody that we like barely know posted about this place in Kokomo.
Yeah,
Wally and
Ollie's.
Wally
It was
and
an
Ollie's.
ice cream place. And of course, if you know us, we are never saying no to ice cream. And we literally drove to the other side of Kokomo today to try Wally's and Ollie's ice cream
because somebody
one
we
social
barely
media post.
know posted it. And it's like, I know that you guys have thousands of Facebook friends, maybe only like 50 of them like true crime. But if you post about us, that person might be like, hey, that sounds intriguing. You might not even know them.
We appreciate it.
And it helps. It was just like, we literally went there, we got ice cream, we took my mother-in-law, we got food, we got ice cream, and the whole thing ended up being like $50. And I was like, you know what? This person just made $50 because
of one
somebody we barely
post.
even know posted about it. So power of social media is a thing.
And now we're here talking about on our podcast. So
yeah,
Wally and Ollie's is just like
one social media
post has turned into this.
Yeah.
So please post about it. And can you let us know if you listen? Because like I truly wish I could know every single one of you. I want to know who listens to us.
Yeah.
So bad. I just look at the cities, like the numbers, and I'm like, please tell me who you are. I want to know.
Yeah.
So if you see us out, or you see us
it
on
makes
social
our day.
media,
If you see us and you've never talked to us before in your life, you don't even know us, but you see us in public.
I get so excited.
And you're like, I love your podcast.
Or if
like,
you
that makes our
comment
day.
on our stuff or message us, we're
Yeah.
super nerdy about it. So
yeah, big time. So shout out to all of you that have messaged us because we're really excited.
We really like it.
Yeah. All right, tell me about your case. I know nothing.
Okay. So we are going to Mason City, Iowa. 26,000 was the population. Actually, okay, like 26,000 is the population now. Back in 1995, it was like 29,000. So I don't know what's going on in Mason City, but it went down over the past 30 years. They only have $2 Generals. Seems like not enough for 26,000 people.
I agree.
Sidebar, speaking of Dollar General, don't sleep on the spring and the summer decor there because the spring decor is on sale.
We don't even get paid from Dollar General. Relax.
I know. They should sponsor us, but they have some really cute fake house plants right now.
Okay.
And I can't I'm a florist, but I cannot keep a house plant alive to save my life, so all mine are fake. I only do the fresh cut flowers, but house plants, so I love the Dollar General plants. So anyway, that's all. Completely irrelevant to the case.
True.
Well, kind of. It was Dollar General related. It's fine. Okay, so we are talking about Jodi Huisentruit, which I think that's just like a really fun name. So Jodi was born and she was raised in Long Prairie, Minnesota. Her parents were Maurice and Imogene. I love that name too. And so she, I feel like I lost my place. Hold on, I just said way too many times. Please excuse me. She excelled in golf. So I kind of identified with that, not because I excelled, but because I did not excel. But she was really good at golf. She actually won the state Class A tournament.
Dang, so she was
in
like
1985.
a baller at golf.
No, 85 and 86. Like, she was really good at golf.
Not messing around in golf. Respect.
After high school, she went to St. Cloud State University, and she studied communication and graduated with a bachelor's degree in 1990. And she went on to be a news anchor. And so that's where our story begins. We are going...
It seems like so much fun to be a news anchor.
Really?
I think it would be awesome.
I think it sounds horrifying.
Really? See,
They have to get up so early, and they have to look perfect, and then people are mean to them and judge them.
I guess I wouldn't care about looking perfect like a girl would. But to be like an ESPN sports anchor or like whatever, that sounds like fun to me. No? Okay, moving on.
No.
I tell you what I wouldn't like though is the teleprompters. They all have to read them. I'd be like, no, just give me the cliff notes and let me go.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it, Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com. Okay, so right here, my next sentence. This is why I don't want to be a news anchor. Okay. At 4 a.m., on Tuesday, June 27th, KIMT, it was 1995, KIMT producer, her name was Amy Coons. She noticed that her friend Jodi had not shown up to work at 3 a.m. like she was supposed to. So she was supposed to be at work at 3 a.m. So I'm out on that career right now. She called her apartment around 4 and was like, where are you at, Jodi answered. You probably weren't expecting that because this is Missing Midwest, but she did. She answered the telephone and she was like, I freaking overslept. I'm on my way. I will be there. She lived really close to this station. And so Amy was like, okay, fine. And apparently this was like a thing and happened before. And so she was expecting her, to be there. She did the morning daybreak show at 7 a.m. And so at 6 a.m., when she still hadn't gotten there from that 4 a.m. phone call, Amy had to, she was, in charge. She was Jodi's boss. She was her friend, but she was her boss. So she had to flip the whole thing.
Whoa.
And she actually filled in for the daybreak show that day because Jodi didn't show up.
Whoa.
She immediately knew something was wrong. And so she called the Mason City Police and asked for a welfare check at Jodi's apartment, which I said was just a few blocks down the road. When police arrived to her apartment, it wasn't very long after Amy had called for the welfare check. They went over there. Nobody answered her apartment door. However, in the parking lot, they noticed some disturbing things. She drove a red... So first of all, Jodi was freaking cute. Super cute. 27 years old. Blonde hair. Just I don't know, classic.
She's
blonde.
beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful news anchor. She drove a red Mazda that she absolutely loved. So cute blonde in a cute little red car. That was parked in the parking lot where it normally was. However, beside her car, they found her purse.
Not good.
With all of the contents completely thrown around. Her car key, which was bent. A red high heel. Her blow dryer, everything that she had would usually take to work was just thrown around.
Not good.
The car, her side mirror on her car on the driver's side was completely bent backwards. And they also noted drag marks leading away from her car. So
she was
obvious sign of a struggle,
yeah.
Obvious signs of abduction. They immediately
That's
were
terrifying, man.
This is the site of an abduction. And they immediately shut the parking lot down, the apartment complex, and started investigating. They noted a palm print on the outside of the car. And they also collected some fibers from the inside of her car, but it wasn't really anything noteworthy because it didn't even look like she had opened the car
or you
that
said
morning.
The key was broke off or bent?
Bent, yeah. Okay. So it looked like she hadn't even made it into her car. It was 1995, so security cameras weren't really a thing. So they didn't have any security footage. When they went to the inside of her apartment, seemed pretty normal. However, they made a note that the toilet seat was up. And so...
What? Yeah, that's weird.
And so that was kind of unusual. She lived alone. Obviously, she's a woman. She lived alone. And they also found 2 used wine glasses on the counter. So they're kind of thinking
maybe she had a date or something?
Was somebody there the night before? Was
right.
it a man that used her toilet? Or was she just cleaning her toilet? I have 2 used wine glasses on my kitchen counter right now that I just haven't washed from the night before. So, it doesn't mean I was drinking wine with somebody. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody was there, but it could be. She didn't have a boyfriend. And so they just kind of made note of this, but it wasn't any, red bells. Red flags. Or alarm bells going off. But basically they concluded that whoever took her did not, go into her apartment because everything was normal. And then they just took note of that toilet seat.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's obviously a struggle out by the car.
The struggle happened outside.
Yeah.
They don't think the person, like, took her back into her apartment or put back in there or anything like that, but they just noted the wine glass situation and the toilet seat. Could be something, could be something, could be nothing.
I feel like all this being said, though, 100% my common sense is saying that a dude was in that apartment with her. 2 wine glasses, a toilet seat up. Coincidences, I'm not in there. A dude was there.
I don't know that that's a coincidence. She could have just been cleaning her bathroom.
Have you ever left the toilet seat up in your life?
Sometimes if I'm cleaning the bathroom, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, police also found her diary.
By the way, I'm a gentleman, and I do not leave the toilet seat up ever.
Johnny has never left the toilet seat up.
Okay,
I appreciate that. Do you feel better that everyone knows that?
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. They noted her diary in the apartment. They were hoping for some drama.
Sure.
They were like hoping.
I'm like, we're about to find out about this dude.
Exactly. Right? They're like, we're thinking this is gonna lead us to suspect numero uno right here. It didn't. Nothing. They said it was very just like her personal thoughts, her day-to-day life. She just was like basically recording her days and like stuff like that for memory's sake. They said there was literally nothing in there that led them to or pointed to anybody.
Interesting.
So police started to look around the area. They did bring in a search dog, which did pick up her scent, but immediately lost it, leading them to believe that she was pulled into a car.
Man.
They interviewed a lot of almost all of her neighbors. They were going obviously door to door. And the neighbors did, at least 3 of them, did say that they heard screams around the time that she would have been leaving for work. One person even said that they heard someone yell, "Leave me alone." However, nobody looked or checked out their window, which I
What?
Immediately am looking out my window if I hear even
the
slightest. Race
between you and I, who gets there first.
Literally, even the slightest noise, I'm looking out my window. However, there was this campground that was right by the apartment complex. And it was apparently known for just having some rambunctious people there. And so the residents of the complex were pretty used to just hearing crap and ignoring it.
Oh, man, still leave me alone specifically. I feel like
leave me. If I hear leave me alone. I'm going to the window.
Man,
with a weapon.
Jeez.
And so police are looking around. So there's this river behind the complex and this campground on one side and the river on the other, and the parking lots in front of the building and behind the building, and they're looking everywhere. And so they're interviewing people, and this man walks up. And he says, my name is John Van Sice, and I was the last person to see Jodi. And they're like, okay.
Did you leave the toilet seat up?
We need to talk to you. And so John here, he also lives in Mason City, and he is really good friends with Jodi. And he tells the police that Jodi was actually at his house the night before. He had thrown her a surprise birthday party the week before with a bunch of their friends, and he had taken, we're in the home video era right now, okay. And so he had taken home video, and she wanted to watch the home video of herself, which I also want to see every video of myself. Yeah. And so she went to his house. They were going to watch the home video together of the party. He said that they hung out, they watched the video, and then she left. So police obviously start looking into John, and they start talking. Obviously, they've been talking to Jodi's friends and family, and they find out that John here, he wanted to be a little bit more than friends with Jodi, okay? Everyone kind of knew this. Jodi knew this, but he was 49 years old.
Whoa, that's a discrepancy there.
They said it was more of a father-daughter relationship. They hung out, and he looked out for her and stuff, and he obviously was interested in her, but she was not interested in him, and he knew she wasn't interested in him, so it was just this kind of weird friendship thing.
That's pretty weird.
And so, like I said, the police are looking into him, and they're kind of, the family, it wasn't that they didn't really approve of the relationship, but they just brought it to the police's attention that he was interested. Exactly. So they discovered that, and they started to look into the last couple of days before she disappeared, at what she was doing. And so they discovered that the day before she disappeared, Jodi had actually went to the Mason City Chamber of Commerce golf outing, which I love. I'm going to the Kokomo Chamber of Golf. It's a fun day. Like it's all your friends, and I'm literally golfing in the Kokomo Chamber of Commerce golf outing in like 2 weeks. And so I mean, shout out, super fun. So she went to that all day, and she was with her friends, and everyone that they talked to that was at this golf outing said she was in a great mood, had so much fun. They talked to the people that she golfed with and said nothing was off. After they got done golfing, she went home and showered and changed, and then they all went back to the clubhouse that night for an award ceremony, and everybody said totally fine. She actually left at about 8 o'clock that night, and she had told her friends, like, I have to work early in the morning, and so she left and went home.
If you have to get up at 3 every day, you're
exactly.
probably used to going to bed at like
she wasn't
10 at the latest.
So she had told everybody, like, I'm going home, left around 8 p.m. Police checked her phone records, and at 8:24 p.m. from her apartment, so she had went home and was in her apartment at 8:24, she called one of her good friends. Her friend's name was Kelly. Kelly wasn't home, but her husband answered, and her husband spoke to Jodi.
Okay. And
said, Kelly's not here, I'll have her call you back. And he also reported Jodi seemed fine. She was just calling to check in on Kelly. So like he said, nothing seemed off with her at all. Anyway, so police find this a little strange that she would have went back out after this to go to John's house. But that's John's story. That she came over.
Okay,
but they know
earlier when you said the night before, I was thinking you meant like the night before.
No. This is like the day before she went missing.
Okay.
And then that night is the night that John said,
like, hey, I know I should go to bed, but I think instead...
I think I'm going to go to John's, yeah. And so it's like...
did they run DNA or fingerprints on those wine glasses, I wonder?
I have no... I didn't
know.
I didn't
wine glasses are like... I mean, that's what they do in the movies to get your fingerprint. They just snatch your wine glass
up. So it just seems off that she would like... I mean, if she had plans to go to John's, that's fine, but why wouldn't she just swing over there before she went home? Like, why stop at your apartment
first and then
make a phone call and then
I don't like it.
Yeah, and
I don't like it at all.
It's possible, but just weird. So police they're talking more and more to Jodi's friends to see more about John. And they start to find out that they start getting the vibe as they talk more to the people closest to Jodi that he might be
an S word?
A little obsessed. An S word.
Stalker?
Well, you don't have to be a stalker when you're friends with somebody.
That's fair.
But they found out that he named his boat after her.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute here.
If I find out a 49-year-old man is naming a boat after my 27-year-old daughter, we're gonna have problems.
I'm my favorite person on planet Earth, and I still would not name a boat after you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that was rude. I'm your wife. You better name your boat after me.
What? There's so many fun names, like Slice of Life, like from Dexter. There's a million puns that you could do.
That's rude.
I'm not naming them after you.
You're literally not even allowed to have a boat.
If it makes you feel better, I'm never going to have a boat. So.
Okay. That does make me feel better. Anyway, so it kind of rubbed her family wrong, like I said. They also, it didn't say who, but a family or friend said that they had talked to John at one point, and he had said something that made them uncomfortable. He said that he really enjoyed his time with Jodi, and he just really enjoyed watching her have fun. What?
That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
That's like what you say about your kids.
Yeah, that's why it was like this weird father-daughter relationship, but like this like vibe of he likes her type thing. And so
like you take her to the park? What do you do? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, like what is she doing that you yeah, I don't like it.
I like taking Jodi to Kokomo Beach and just watching her. Nope, not good.
One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is something I never thought I would do. You want to know my secret? Hiring a cleaning company. Like, who does that? I never thought I would say that I'm going to have my house cleaned for me. But in this season of life, with young kids and sports and work and side hustles, I had to decide how I wanted to spend my free time, and cleaning was not on that list. Stanley Cleaning Company has given me my free time back. They come once a month, and they sweep and mop my entire house and clean my bathrooms for me, and let me tell you, it is my favorite day of the month. Coming home to a sparkling clean house and knowing that I just saved 3+ hours of my time to spend with my kids is such a mental health game changer for me.
It doesn't matter who from their team comes. They leave my house shining. And the best part is it's affordable. Christine offers an a la carte menu. You can do a general or a deep cleaning, just a sweep and a mop. You can do once a month or every week, a spring cleaning or a pre-party clean. She even has a postpartum mom clean that happens while you're in the hospital having your baby, and I can attest to that. It is amazing. Give them a call today for a free quote, and I promise it will be the best self-care you can imagine. You can find them on Facebook at Stanley Cleaning Company, or you can give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606.
So Jodi's friends also said that she was very excited about her newest purchase, her big girl purchase, her new red Mazda. She had just recently gotten it, apparently, but a friend of John's, like a mutual friend between John and Jodi, came forward to the police and said that she had this conversation with John that was a little awkward because he was upset.
It sounds like they are all awkward conversations with John.
Yeah. Yes, it's a theme here. She said that John was upset because Jodi's boyfriend bought her the car, and he didn't think that she should accept it. The only problem with this was that Jodi didn't even have a boyfriend.
And also bought the car herself, as you just said.
She bought it from... she bought the car from a boy of a friend. So, like, a friend of hers knew a boy that was selling a car, and she bought it. And so John has, I don't know how you get... it sounds like a...
paranoid
right?
jealous. That's
it sounds
weird.
like a jealous thing to say. Like,
it is.
Jodi's like, no, I bought this car from this guy that was a friend. He is a boy, and he's a friend, but he's not a boyfriend. Exactly.
That jerk held the door for my
friend. And also, why are you telling this to somebody else? Like, it just sounds like you're a jealous little
that's
brat.
Very weird. I just can't picture a scenario.
However, John has an alibi, okay, for the night it disappeared, okay? So the same friend that told police about this whole car conversation was also his alibi. And she said that her and John walked together every morning at 6 a.m.
Sounds like you might be a little obsessed with her, too.
She called him. John needs some male friends, honestly.
Seriously.
She called him at 6 a.m. and he answered and said, yes, they're on for their walk. And she said by 6:30 a.m. they were walking. She said he was completely normal, completely fine. She said there is no way he would have had time to kidnap her at 4 a.m. and be home at 6 for the phone call.
Unless he's a psychopath. Dexter could have done it.
To me, he lived 5 minutes away from Jodi's apartment. I'm like, that's not an alibi, man.
No, it's not.
That's not an alibi at all. Like, out of all, we've done cases where people had like 20 minutes to commit a terrible crime and they do
Simpson
it. Right?
Went to trial based on like a 30-minute scenario.
No, I mean, Jodi's missing, so there would have been a lot of like taking some...
I just feel like 2 hours is what?
That's what I'm saying. And so the police are like, yeah, that's I mean, not probable, but it's also not an alibi.
Right.
Especially,
it would be a timeline
since he
that I
was
would care about,
so
but it's
close.
not an impossible timeline.
Yeah. So John is just getting weirder and weirder here. And so he starts to like do these interviews with any and every camera that he can find.
Oh, geez.
Even though he knows the police are kind of like looking at him, he's still talking. And he just like makes these press conferences and he's like more than willing. And like there's a lot of press around this.
Sure.
I mean,
I can imagine. Yeah.
Her own news.
She's a celebrity.
Her own news station is reporting on their own missing colleague.
If you think about
it's crazy.
Iowa doesn't have like professional sports teams or stuff. Like yours, like a news anchor is like.
I mean, people like everybody
in
knew
Iowa.
Her.
She's the one. I mean, she like.
Yeah, in the town, it's only like 26,000 people at the time.
I mean, still.
Everybody knew her.
Yeah,
she was pretty famous, local famous, and so something that people. Oh, baby sneezes. Anyway, something people noticed that also appeared to be weird and rubbed a lot of the people that knew Jodi wrong. In almost all of his statements on camera, he referred to Jodi in the past tense.
Red flag. That's a red flag.
Jodi was an awesome friend. Jodi was an amazing person. Like, she's not dead yet, sir. Like, we don't know that she's dead.
Seriously.
Why are you talking that way? Other than these, like, weird things, though, of him being a creep, there was literally nothing that tied him to the disappearance. So, like, they don't even have a reason to get a search warrant for him because there's nothing, like, there except he's just weird.
So police just kind of resort to just like watching him because, like I said in the intro, there was not a lack of suspects in this case. We're talking about a local celebrity, a gorgeous girl. We got some more people here, okay?
I mean, he's suspect number 1 for me. I know you haven't said anybody else, but gee whiz.
So like I said,
John's not looking good for me right now.
He's a good one. However, there's tons more. And so they end up calling in the FBI for help. Like I said, she's on the news. She's young. She's pretty. They realize this truly could have been anybody. And so they get the FBI together and they host this like huge search party and they block off a 2-mile radius around her apartment complex.
Jeez, I mean, if you think about it, like in a city, 2 miles?
And for 3 days, they have like every person possible doing a like very thorough search. Nothing came up.
Waste of time. Really?
However, in the middle of all of this, like in the 3 days, like after she went missing and all this stuff, rumors start spreading, and it kind of throws the case off a little bit. There was this like main rumor that came out that there was a bloody handprint on the car, and so everyone was focusing on that, and that's like all the news stations were talking about was this like bloody handprint, and the police are like, there is no bloody handprint, stop talking about it. And so it took them a long time to like get the right reporting out there and saying like there's no bloody handprint, please stop saying that.
Interesting.
And so it kind of damaged the case like right from the beginning because of these like rumors that were swirling around.
Yeah.
And the police are trying to get like accurate information out there, but everybody's just running with these rumors.
Right.
And so a few other things happened in the like in the first few days and weeks after she went missing. So a man named Randy Linderman, he came to police and said that he was driving to work that morning, and he said he saw a white van running, sitting in the parking lot, and he said he just knew it was connected to her disappearance. He said he got a bad feeling about it when he drove by, and then later he found out that somebody went missing from that apartment complex, and he said he just like he knows it's connected. But that's all the information he had.
Dang.
And so it's like, thank you for noticing that. Thank you for telling us. But like, what are we supposed to do with that?
Right.
They also heard from friends and family that Jodi had been talking in the couple weeks before she went missing that she was like getting a little bit worried about the amount of attention that she had been receiving lately. Like I said, local celebrity. She told her friends that when she was running, she thought there was a truck following her one day.
Sketch.
She also started getting strange phone calls, and she told her friends she was signing up for self-defense classes and that she wanted to change her phone number.
I mean, there's more to it than that then, in my opinion.
What do you mean?
Like, you want to change your phone number? It's more than just...
So she actually talked about it with her golf team. Like it was like a 4-person golf team.
Yeah.
And the other 3 people said they actually had a conversation about it the day before. And she said they said she wouldn't really go into details of it, but she said they were just very nasty and naughty phone calls, and that she wasn't overly worried about them, but she just wanted them to stop because they were annoying.
I mean, if they have your phone number, they have your address.
So that's the thing. This is the 90s. Her address and phone number were listed in the phone book.
Gee whiz.
So anyone could have known where she lived or had her phone number.
Wow.
And that's why she was like, I want to change my phone number because I'm listed in the phone book. My full name is on TV. Everybody knows. Like, you can literally look me up.
So suspect pool is Iowa.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the first 30 days of this case, they got over 1,000 tips, and they looked into every single one of them. Her case was featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, which, shout out, favorite show. They stayed in the media for a while with her story, with, like I said, Unsolved Mysteries, and just like, especially with like the news station that she worked for, like trying to keep it in the public eye. Tips kept coming in, but none of them led the police any closer to an answer. And that's pretty much how the case remained until 1998, 3 years later. They got a lead from an inmate in a Minnesota jail, and this guy becomes a suspect. You're never going to guess how he becomes a suspect, but it is because of a rap song that this man wrote.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right?
Here we go.
People that think they can rap are my favorite kind of people.
Oh, dude, I used to rap battle my students when I was married. I was an adult and they were 10, so I won.
Made fun of you.
Yeah.
Like, I love people that think they can rap. It's so fun.
This is the same girl that asks me to rap about her cat all the time.
And the same guy that does it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyway, his name was Tony DeJuan Jackson, and he apparently told his cellmate that he had abducted and killed an anchor woman from Iowa. His cellmate was like, yeah, whatever. But then Tony wrote a song about it, and when he heard the lyrics, he was like, maybe he actually is telling the truth here, because that was a little specific.
Yeah.
And so he ended up telling some people about it, and so the police, it somehow gets back to the police, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we have nothing, so let's go talk to the guy. But I was going to read you the lyrics, okay?
Okay. I'm looking forward to this.
So ridiculous. She's a stiffin around tiffin in a pilage of silage.
That's pillage and sillage.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how they pronounced it when I heard it.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. Forget what I just said then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was pilage of silage.
Okay.
In a bilo... See, you ruined my lyrics here.
Start from the top.
Do you want me to rap it? Would that be better?
That'd be better. I want to see the hand motions.
I'm not rapping it. She's a stiffin around tiffin in a pilage of silage in a bilo, low below, off a highway by a grave road. So, obviously, a stiffin is a dead body. And there's a city named Tiffin, which is, like, not that far from Mason City.
Sketch.
And so... they're like, it's not like a full confession to killing Jodi, but with what he told his cellmate about the anchor woman, they're like, okay, we're going to go talk to him. They also really want to talk to him when they find out that Tony here is in jail for the sexual assault of 4 small, petite, blonde women.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so they actually find out that Tony was living 2 blocks from the news station.
No way.
At the time of Jodi's disappearance.
And she was close, right?
He also, yeah, she was close as well. He also was attending community college for broadcasting. And he had participated in a few, like, mock talk shows and stuff for college at her news station.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they go to interview him, and he's like, yeah, like, I was there. Yeah, I know who she was. But I actually fell down the stairs the night she disappeared, and I was in the hospital all night. And I was on crutches, which I also fell down the stairs, so I understand.
You fell down a step, like a third of a step.
I've fallen down the stairs before, though.
It's true. I swear it happened. She fell down the stairs. I've never laid hands on my wife, but we have been to the hospital.
Did I tell you guys that I found out I broke? Did I tell them that?
Yes, you did last week.
That it was broke?
It's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. Still broken. Anyway, so I never found out, like, nothing ever says that they, like, went to the hospital and, like, you would think you would be able to verify this.
You'd think.
And so they never really said, like, if they verified it, but I'm assuming...
Yeah, he probably did.
Well, I'm assuming they did because he never got arrested.
Yeah.
They did, however, apparently find a farm in Tiffin that was by a grave road, or I guess. I don't know. It matched, and they believed that was the location that he was rapping about. And so they actually, like, went, like, full-on searching this place. They tore it apart. They did have 2 cadaver dogs signal on human remains in a silo, but they didn't find anything. Like, they dug it up and everything, and they didn't find any human remains. So nothing happened.
The dogs knew.
So nothing happened with our rap star friend.
Unbelievable. I mean, I will say, based on everything you just told me, he moves above...
Is he above John now?
Well, it's all about
friend?
the hospital records. If he has an alibi in the hospital,
I know.
You can't beat that.
Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.
So by 2000, police are still looking at this case. They said that they have 30 to 40 persons of interest.
Oh my gosh.
Like, are you kidding me? That's so many people. There's a man named Dustin Hawken from Mason City, and he is in jail for meth, and he is suspected in the disappearances of 5 people.
Whoa.
in 1993, these people are missing. Like, they can't find them. In 2001, though, they discover all 5 bodies. And so he got charged with the murder of all 5 of them on top of his meth charge. And so they're like, you know, so then...
Where is she?
Yeah, well, no, so they end up... I'm back to the rumor thing. So these rumors start circling because Dustin's girlfriend worked at the country club that the golf outing was at. So people start saying that Jodi was working on the case and like trying to connect him to those disappearances. And so they don't know if maybe Dustin's girlfriend like told him that, hey, this chick's looking into you, and then he made her disappear, and then he got arrested for the later when they found the body. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
but Jodi wasn't even working on that case. Like, that's just another rumor.
Okay, so I'm out on that.
She was just a news anchor,
but
like, she wasn't.
Definitely sketch. Definitely sketch.
So in 2001,
like if that's all you had, I'd be like, yeah, that guy did it. But with the others, it's
I know. So in 2001, a lady named Ann Sluty was abducted. She was attacked on the way to her car. Her items were left scattered all around the car. There was actually witnesses, and they saw a man jump out of a car, run up to her, hit her over the head, and then drag her back into his van. 5 days later, they found her, and she was alive, and they were able to arrest him. People connected these 2 cases, but the police said they're not connected. But basically, rumors, again. Yeah. Basically just how she was taken, the car.
It's tough to think that.
The items.
I mean, I feel like.
People are trying to, like, connect everything.
I feel like it'd be worth looking into, for sure, see if they're connected. But, yeah. I mean, you could probably just continue that really quick.
Yeah. So, there's this news director, Gary Peterson. He gets a letter from a psychic, and this psychic, she offers to do a reading for him on any case he wants. And
Smart.
And he chose, she's like, I need some business here. Like,
gee whiz.
So he chose Jodi's case. He's like, okay, fine. Nothing came of the reading at all. The psychic fed him a bunch of crap. He looked into it. None of it was true. However, because of this, the station did a story on Jodi's case because they kind of like with the psychic and stuff like, oh, yeah. And so it brought it back into the public eye, and they actually made a 13-part series about the abduction. And then there was a guy named Josh Benson who was another reporter, and so him and Gary like kind of like
team up.
They like kind of just like fell into this case head first, and were like, we have to, like, we can figure out what happened to Jodi. Like, we're going to figure it out. And so they start doing all this, like, investigative reporting together, and they end up making the 13-part series. It's like a podcast that they did.
Wow.
And they actually started findjodi.com, and they basically were like, we want one website, one place where we can put every single piece of information about this case in it. And so you can go there and read. I got a lot of information from it, but, like, every single thing that has happened in her case in a timeline, like, they have made sure it's on there.
Wow.
And so that's what they did. And then they did this podcast too. And so in 2004, police start looking at another man. He's a sex offender, and his name was Thomas. I don't really care if I mispronounce it because he's in Skorskaden. There you go. Skorskaden. It doesn't really matter because he's a monster. He sexually assaulted like tons of women, even his own daughter. He drove a van similar to the one that the guy said he saw parked in the apartment complex. So Thomas was actually looked at too in the first months of the investigation because he was trying to get tickets to an event that Jodi was going to be at, and when he couldn't get the tickets, he got really mad, and somebody like told the police about this, so they were like, hey, like, why were you so upset that you didn't get to see Jodi at this event? And, you know, it was kind of weird. So apparently he was in court, and there was a court official that mentioned Mason City to him, like, offhandedly, and Thomas just got this like creepy smile, and all he said was, he just looked at him and said, Jodi Huisentruit. And then the court officer was like, oh, do you think she's still alive? And he smiled and said, no, she's dead.
That's
weird.
Concerning.
Yeah. And so they get a warrant, and they compare the palm print.
Ooh.
Doesn't match.
Duh.
No evidence links him to the case at all. So nothing happens with this dude.
Whoa.
So in early June 2008, A local newspaper, the Mason City Globe-Gazette, receives a large envelope in the mail with no return address.
Sketch.
Yeah. It contains photocopies, 84 pages of photocopies.
Whoa.
Of Jodi's journal.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
That sounds like something John would do.
They immediately, the police have it, remember?
Yeah, it sounds like something John would have done, like, a different time. Like, go into an apartment and do that.
Yeah, weirdo. So the original journal, like I said, I was in possession of law enforcement from, like, the day one.
Right.
So within days, the Mason City Globe-Gazette published it, obviously, because they're a news...
Yeah.
Which was shitty to do.
That sucks.
Why would you do... Like, call the police.
Seriously.
Don't publish
Also,
it.
like, it's somebody's journal.
It's her private thoughts.
Like,
why are you publishing
class
that?
Here.
Yeah, literally the most unclassy thing ever. So within days, the Mason City police are like, what the heck? How did you get that? They reported that they had found who the sender was, and it was the wife of the former Mason City police chief.
Wait a minute.
He had retired, and somehow he was on the case when he was working, and somehow when he like cleared out his office and brought all his crap home, those photocopies ended up in it, and his wife found them, and instead of being a nice person and like giving them back to the police department, she freaking sent them to the media, which police have already ruled out.
What did she get out of that?
Literally nothing. Just to be a witch with a B. But like, I cannot even, like that, like the police said there was no clues in it.
People suck, man.
Like there was no clues in it.
No reason to do that.
It was just her personal stuff, something that she probably thought nobody would ever read ever, and now everybody's reading it because you couldn't just return it to where it belonged.
What the heck?
Like, are you that bored?
I
Unbelievable. That made me so mad.
Yeah, that
totally
sucks.
Rude. Totally, like, yeah. Anyway, so in 2009, a Mason City. I just feel like I just keep like adding to you guys here. A Mason City police officer comes forward. Her name is Marie Old. Oh, the baby's waking up, of course. She tells police that 2 years ago, she got a tip from her brother-in-law, who was a pastor. He said that he got a call telling him that there were 3 police officers involved in Jodi's abduction.
Whoa.
So he called his sister and told his sister-in-law, because she's a police officer.
There's a lot of she said already.
Yeah. She didn't go forward with it because she was like, I don't know who's calling you to tell me, but like, I'm not going to go accusing my fellow officers of something that doesn't seem legit. But 2 years later, she was on a call and she heard 2 people talking, and they were talking about the Jodi's case, and she was listening to them, and they were talking about how they knew that the police were involved, and they knew that the police were covering it up. And so Marie goes forward with it because she's like, oh, like at first it was just some like,
yeah, this was a rumor.
I didn't take it seriously at first because it was like, because like you said, it was he said, she said, you tell your sister this,
right,
blah blah blah. But now she's like, how do these people know about this?
So this lady's a police officer.
Yes.
Who is saying she heard other police officers talk about this?
No. The 2 people she heard talking, she just heard them while she was working a case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so Gary, the guy that I told you about at the beginning that was doing the findjodi.com.
Yeah.
So him and John, I believe his name was John, that are kind of like going headfirst into this and doing like the investigative reporting and everything. They're like, well, who are these people? Like, we're going to find them.
Yeah.
So they find him, both of the people that the officer overheard.
Yeah.
They're both dead. One of them died of a drug overdose. However, in their autopsy report, there was no drugs found in their system, but it was ruled an overdose. The other person was stabbed to death.
I mean, big yikes.
Yeah. Maria then got fired. She was accused of mishandling evidence. And then all 3 of the officers that were suspected were cleared. And Maria was gone.
Big yikes.
Sketch.
Man.
Super sketchy.
I feel like after all, some of my favorite cases that we do are the ones where at the end you're like, what is it? Like, if we have 3 options for you, I'm like, yeah, that's a good case.
How many?
Like,
I've lost count of how many options
that's what
I've
I'm
given
saying.
you. I've given you guys so many options.
Like, I'd say rapper's still number 1 for me. John number 2. But like this little conspiracy theory here is, you know, there's too much he said, she said. But like I said, if that's all you had to go on, you'd be like, they did it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so I'm wrapping it up for you here, but let's go back to John Van Cise, okay?
Okay, Creeper John.
In March of 2017, because I'm telling you, they've been working on this case nonstop. Like, it goes all the way up to this year of working on this case.
Okay.
The police get a search warrant for 2 of his cars for their GPS systems. These 2 cars, they weren't even invented when Jodi went missing.
So what are we doing?
So why do they want them?
Yeah.
So that has left a lot of speculation to the police. The search warrant is sealed, and every single year on the day that it is to become unsealed, the police request to reseal it, and it gets resealed. So they obviously do not want the public to know what this search warrant is for. But the rumors and what the public has kind of like come up with, like, on their own,
gotta fill in the blanks, right?
They believe that, like, the general rumor is that John he doesn't live there anymore, like, that he's been traveling back to Iowa
to like revisit
to a burial site.
Creep status.
And so
it sounds like something he would do.
Think that the police want to know where he travels back to Iowa a lot, and they want to know where he's going when he's there. Makes sense.
Yeah.
In 2020, there's a private investigator named Steve Ridge. He was looking. No one asked him to look into the case. He just decided he wanted to do it because that's his job, and he's nosy like all of us. And so he's looking into the case. And he says that an unnamed person who was questioned in the early days of the case confessed to him that they destroyed evidence in the case. They said that they knew who did it, and they were forced to destroy the evidence. So, like, I don't know if it was like a lover or a wife or a girlfriend or somebody that, like, you know,
sure,
somebody came home covered in blood and your husband made you clean it up type thing, and now you're divorced and you want to tell police. I don't know what it was. But they said they were scared and they didn't tell police, and so they covered up the evidence, and now Steve and the police know who this person is and they know what the evidence is, but it's been 4 years. It's 2024. No charges are filed. So, like, is that true? Is it not true? Is it not enough evidence? Like, why didn't you file? Like, whoever she's protecting or was protecting, they haven't arrested him.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
when you arrest them, you got to know.
Yeah,
you know?
you have. Yeah, exactly. So it's probably not enough. So like I said, findjodi.com literally has everything on this case. Everything's documented, but John and Gary, I'm pretty sure those are their names. I forget.
That's what you said a minute ago.
Okay.
So.
They have literally, through all their, like, putting this information together, I mean, they're reporters. They started doing their own investigating, and they started their own podcast. And so they actually have included all of the police information that they know, but they've also included, like, their own, like, they're doing their own interviews. And so they're kind of, like, have uncovered a few pieces of information too that are on the website. And so
good for them.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. Might as well make a podcast out of it.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So they actually had a couple interviews with people that they said in the days before Jodi went missing, they lived in the same apartment complex, and they noticed, like, every morning there were these beer cans lined up on the curb. Like, somebody had been, like, drinking beer all night long and just, like, setting them on the curb. It happened, like, the few days leading up to, like, Jodi's disappearance. They were, like, noticing these beer cans in the morning. But the thing is, where the beer cans were, if you were sitting there drinking, you could see straight into Jodi's apartment.
Oh, creepy.
There were no beer cans found after Jodi disappeared.
Creepy.
That gives me chills.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's super, super creepy.
Yeah.
Like, somebody had been drinking all night, just, like, watching her apartment, and then, yeah, I don't like
that's
that.
Creepy.
Yeah, no. Another person told them that she saw this creepy guy who lived in the campgrounds, like, parking his car in front of, like, the apartment complex for a couple days before, and she noticed it because it was making her uncomfortable when she was walking to her car, because he was just sitting there staring. Like, I noticed people.
Sure.
And if somebody was there every single day, I would 1000% notice it. She said he was not there. She said it was a green car. He was not there after Jodi disappeared. Like, she never saw him parked again there. And so that was creepy. So like I said, they've kind of gathered all that information, on their own. Then okay, so that was all that. But one last thing I wanted to say was that Amy, the girl at the very beginning, Amy, Jodi's friend from work, her boss, she did an interview.
The lady that called and was
for the welfare check. Possibly the last person that Jodi even talked to that morning. In an interview, she said that she 100% knows that John is responsible.
Really?
She said the morning that Jodi didn't come into work, John called the station and was asking if Jodi was there. And when she told him that no, she didn't show up to work today, he was like, well, why not? Is she sick? What's wrong? Why isn't she there? Is she not working today? Is she off? Like asking all these questions. And she was like, he had never called before. Like, why did he call on that day?
Okay, so here's my thing. John, back to number one. Why do we have this rapper guy doing this? Why are all these people... I mean, like, I don't believe in coincidences that much.
That's
like,
what
that's
this
crazy.
Case, it's like, can you have too many suspects in a case? Every case
Legit
we do...
suspects.
Every case we do, we don't have enough suspects. This one, there's too many.
I say we arrest them all.
They probably all need it.
Yeah. Wow.
One more thing, Amy also said that within a few days after Jodi went missing, she was at a laundromat and John came in with his laundry and she said that he stared her down. And she said it was just the most like overwhelming feeling of him being like just intimidating her, she said. She said she just knew. She said she just knew when he called and they found out Jodi was missing, and she knew when she saw him in the laundromat that day, the way he looked at her, she said he did it.
Dang.
Yeah. John's like in his he'd be in his 70s now, I think. He has Alzheimer's. So even if, I mean, he's like, he's bad off.
Wow.
Yeah. So like.
Got away with it. Like if he did it, he got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
gee whiz, man.
Like I said, this case is still active. They just this week posted that her reward is up to $100,000 for anyone that can give any information about where she is, what happened to her, who's responsible. So, I mean, if you know something, say something. It's been 30 years, almost 30 years this month. Someone knows something here.
Oh, yeah.
Someone saw something, and I appreciate all the people that came forward with those little details.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, there's a lot of... I saw a car.
1,000 tips, you said, in like the first week or two?
Yes.
Like, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Man, someone knows something. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They are opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.